Thank you so much for stopping by. In case this is your first time, my name is Miriam. I am a Kenyan journalist and also a student of international relations, and in my journalism career I focus on Africa's current affairs, and I also do international relations analysis on the African continent and how it fits within the global system. Okay, and so I embarked on a journey for change a couple of years ago after discovering the way I was living, the way I was operating, the strategies that I had in place, and the things that I was doing, and sometimes the companies that I was keeping and the decisions that I was making was not really serving me as a person in terms of bettering me and also moving me towards where I knew I could get. Okay, and so I sat down and had a meeting with myself and realized that I had to engage in some changes in my life should I want or should I see an outcome that I had imagined that I could see. In my previous video, in case you've not watched, I had talked about how I worked in the media industry for almost 9 years without having gone to a journalism school. So as much as I was having jobs here and there, but the fact that I lacked the journalistic papers really hindered my growth and my progress as far as journalism is concerned, and other opportunities that I knew. As much as I did have a experience, but having papers to back that up would be obviously is an added advantage. So I took the initiative and went back to school to study journalism at the age of 34, going to 35. And I did, and I graduated, and I was the top student in that class, became the valedictorian for that year. Great. And so after that, I discovered that I really had fallen in love with African narrative and just African reporting and African current affairs. And I thought for me to really specialize and to have a good understanding of this, outside of just me having studied journalism, I realized that going to school and studying international relations will be a much added advantage based upon where I'm seeing myself going and the kinds of spaces I'd like to go and perhaps would like to work for in the future. So I enrolled back to school, and I'm now pursuing a degree in international relations, because from where I see it and from where I am trying to go, then I realized in my career, I realized that could perhaps help me, going back to school and studying some of that and just adding on what I'd already studied in my journalism will be of great benefit and will just enrich what it is that I was trying to do and what I was trying to craft myself to be and brand myself, and what I wanted to specialize upon, because I specialize in African current affairs. So it will only make sense for me to truly understand the space of Africa in the international system, and you can only do that by studying international relations. Okay, all right, so that has really been quite advantageous. Okay, so it would have been easier for me to just sit and say, I haven't gone to school, but I'm able to get media jobs here and there, and it's okay. But for me, I'm a very ambitious person. I have dreams and goals and aspirations that I have in my life, and for me to get there, after having that meeting with myself, I discovered there are certain things I had to do, one of them going back to school, and of course other changes that required me, because it's not just in my career but also overall in my life. I discovered there are certain ways that perhaps I was living that was not representing me in a way that I would want to be represented as a woman and as a person. And so I had to make certain changes. I had to decide, I can no longer engage in A, B, and C. I can no longer be in the company of A, B, and C. I can no longer, entertain this and that habit around me. So I had to look at what is the kind of person I want to be, the kind of woman I want to be, the kind of mother I want to be, and how can I get there. And sometimes a journey to change, one of the key things that I've seen that perhaps your change process might demand from you is the change of the company that you keep. Let me tell you something. Because sometimes you're working towards becoming somebody that you know you can be, a better version of yourself. But if you keep keeping the same company, having the same useless stories, engaging in the same narratives, with the same circle of people that are not enhancing or are not pushing you towards the direction that you were intending to go, then you will never move, you will never progress. You'll just be going in circles, but you'll never make progress. So what I've discovered in my personal journey is that for you to make progress, there has to be some change. Who you spend your time with matters. How you spend your time matters, okay? Who you allow in your personal space does matter, okay? So now my red flags are usually very up now. So when I'm around a person that I know I shouldn't be around, since I engaged in this change journey, immediately I'll feel some level of uncomfortability that, you know, I may never be in the presence of this person ever again or for a long time, you know. It does not matter whether it's friendship or work or whatever, okay, because sometimes they're not in alignment with who you're trying to be, the kinds of conversations you're trying to have, and where you're trying to go in your life, okay? And as I've said in my previous videos, time is a very important resource. So how you spend it and what you choose to spend it on is really, it does matter. And you know, you should look at the opportunity cost, okay? And so what I'm saying in saying all this is that you cannot progress without change. You cannot just sit there and wish and hope and pray, which is great. But even faith without work is dead. So if you want to move forward with your life, you have goals and ambitions, and you really, really desperately want to make progress, start by looking within yourself and see what are the things that I can change. Even the small steps, because maybe you want to go to college, or maybe you want to start a business, or maybe you want to engage in this and that, and perhaps you don't have the finances, so for whatever reason you can't do that right now. But there are these small things that you can do, you can implement on a personal level that will help you in achieving. Even as you do that, you keep your goal on the bigger picture, and before you know it, these small changes. I read the book Atomic Habits sometimes back last year, and it really changed my perspective about the small things, and I think it really challenged me, you know, because sometimes doing the bigger thing can be very challenging and problematic. So you just start by changing the small things. Just do the small things, and these small things will amount to bigger things, and before you know it, it has become a habit, okay? So I started engaging more, went back to reading a lot. I love knowledge. Went back to doing things that enhance me, things that build me, things that challenge me, things that uplift me. I started giving such things more attention and more time, okay? And so you have to understand, if you're tired of staying the way you are, if you're tired of things just being the way they are in your life, if you're really tired of that, you can change that. And part of changing that is changing you. There are things about you that you will require to change for you to allow that progress, and for that progress to become tangible in your life, so that you're not just making circles and movements, but you're not really progressing forward in your life. And who you allow in your personal space matters a lot when you are in this journey of change and progress. So you think about that, okay? Thank you so much.